The 49ers just lost two straight. I'm not feeling good at all. Let's just say that. But we're not talking about them tonight. Tonight, we're breaking down part 1 of the Week 7 recap, all after this. What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Camper Report. A lot happened this week. And we're here to break all the big games down again. As I was laying out the format a few weeks ago of what I would do with the channel, I said that, let me just quickly see my audio is all good. Yeah. As I was laying out kind of the format of what I'd be doing on my show, I said that I'd be doing 2 parts, NFL week to week recaps, and more of the second part would be breaking down the Sunday and Monday night games, and then news from around the league, rumors from around the league, and rankings from around the league. So tomorrow, I'll be making the second part to recap week 7, and then I'll probably be posting it either tomorrow night or Wednesday. I'm actually recording this on Tuesday. It's about midnight, so start of Tuesday evening. But let's get it going today. Week 7 recap. Let's get it with the first game I wanted to recap. Chiefs versus Chargers. Let me just quickly get to line. Let's see. Chiefs versus Chargers. Yeah. So let's get it into it here. First off, I want to start off. This is going to be a pretty brief kind of recap of this game. The Chargers went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs, really, in the first half. I mean, I think it was 17-17 at the end of the first half. But my biggest take when you are facing the Chiefs is you can't just go toe-to-toe with them. You have to make a defensive stop. Because especially how the Chiefs were playing in this game, the Chiefs, as we're seeing the year go on, their offense is slowly starting to click more and more. They're slowly starting to see which receivers they want to use. Those 3 receivers are very clear. Okay? They have Marquez Valdes-Scantling, they have Rashee Rice, and then they have Travis Kelce. Those are the 2, really the 3 targets. That's kind of what they've figured out so far. So those are kind of the guys that they're going to be using, that they've made very clear that they're going to use. Because obviously Rashee Rice, I mean, he had 5 catches and a TD. Scantling had 3 catches on a TD. But this game, the Chargers could not stop the Chiefs at all. They were giving up huge plays down the middle, just huge plays all across the board, except from one pick from except from one pick, because they did pick Patrick Mahomes off one time. The Chargers did not the Chargers did not force anything. They didn't force a fumble. They didn't force an interception, except from one made by Asante Samuel Jr. There we go. And so it's just the Chargers defense could not get this done. And we're starting to see the Chiefs kind of get into a little bit of a rhythm. Really liked what Patrick Mahomes did most of this game. I mean, he was smooth a lot of this game. And I mean, and especially that first touchdown pass, it was 3-3. Patrick Mahomes rolls out to his right and delivers a strike across the field to Marquez Valdes-Scantling for the TD, for the Chiefs' first TD of the game. I will say, I still have my concern with the Chiefs. Too much of their success, in my opinion, relies on Travis Kelce. He had a 180-yard game, 12 receptions, a TD. But the problem with that is if he goes out again with an injury, and a more serious injury this time, the Chiefs are once again not good. So that's my only concern with them. And hey, maybe they'll be able to ride it out. But it's kind of similar to what's happening with the 49ers. Both teams, the 49ers are relying on a 35, 36-year-old left tackle to get the job done and to save their season. The Chiefs are relying on a 31-year-old tight end to save their season and get the job done. Whenever you give your trust to 30-plus players, 30-year-old plus players, that's not a smart idea because they're always more prone to get injuries. So the Chiefs, great team, but still have my concerns with how are they going to hold up down the stretch. So that was a little bit long-winded there, but that was one of the more takes that I had on this show right here. Lions versus Ravens. We got this one. I'm going to try to go fast on this one because there was, just Lamar Jackson showed how good he is with no pressure. 21 for 27, 357 yards, 3 TDs, a QBR of 155.8, which is almost perfect. The Ravens ran the ball well. They were leaning back. Edwards had 4.6 yards per carry. So just an absolute offensive masterclass, or masterpiece, not masterclass. Masterpiece by the Ravens. Defensively for the Lions, they're really starting to feel the loss of their 2 starting cornerbacks, CJ Gardner-Johnson and Emmanuel Mosley, both out for the year. And it was really starting to show. The Lions don't have like a super elite pass rush, although they do have Aiden Hutchinson. They don't have a super elite pass rush, which makes for problems when they don't get pressure on the quarterback. The Ravens have a good offensive line. The Lions in this game didn't get pressure on the quarterback, and because they don't have good corners anymore, they don't have a lot of cornerback depth. And so when Emmanuel Mosley and CJ Gardner-Johnson both went out for the year, you're seeing how bad this defense really is. The Lions are kind of going back to last year's defense, where one of the worst defenses in the league. And Aiden Hutchinson can't help it because he doesn't really have a whole ton of help on that defensive line. And the cornerbacks, now they're playing a lot of backup cornerbacks. They're really starting to feel the absence of those 2 guys that I mentioned before. Jared Goff, under pressure a lot. The key to beating Jared Goff is really you have to have a high-powered offense. You have to get ahead quickly. And so you have to make the Lions pass the ball. If you make Jared Goff drop back and you make the Lions rely solely on Jared Goff's arm, then it's a bad day for the Lions, because the Lions, their style of football is running the ball, being ahead most of the game, playing physical, and letting Jared Goff hit those dink and dunk slants that he does. That's really where they eat. But the Ravens in this game, they brought pressure. They found ways to blitz Jared Goff over and over again. And since the Lions were behind most of this game, they had to keep throwing the ball, and it made Jared Goff look really bad, because Jared Goff at the end of the day is not an elite quarterback. And so pressure really got to him, and it didn't help that they were behind most of the game. And the defense is terrible. So that's where I just think that when the Lions face elite defenses, they're just going to be, I don't know. The Lions, when they face an elite team with an elite defense, it's not going to be good for them. And it didn't help that they didn't have David Montgomery, because Jahmyr Gibbs, he's a good pass rusher. He's a good kind of skill position player, but running the ball as a sole runner, I don't like what I see there. So let's move on there. Colts versus Browns. This one, came down to the wire, but can we just go ahead and crown, at this point in the season, my defensive player of the year pick would be Myles Garrett. I mean, in this game alone, he had 2 forced fumbles and a blocked field goal in the first half. So just an absolute monster first half against the Colts in this first half. And then what eventually ended it was Zadarius Smith forcing the fumble, getting the TD on Gardner Minshew. But so, the defense really for the Browns is winning games. The Browns offensively weren't even that good. Deshaun Watson, 1 for 5, and an interception. So he got replaced by PJ Walker, their backup quarterback, who wasn't much better, 15 for 32. And so, and so basically, the Browns, my point is, the Browns, their quarterback play was terrible. Their offense was absolute garbage, but they were still able to put up, 38, 39 points because their defense was so good. This defense in this game forced 5 turnovers. Garrett alone forced 3, and then you had Zadarius Smith and then another interception, forcing 1, and then another interception by Gardner Minshew. So defense will continue to win games for the Browns during the regular season, and that's what makes them so good. On the bright side for the Colts, though, yes, they lost this game, but I mean, Taylor, their running back, is back with a vengeance. He seemed very good in this game. 18 carries, 4.2 yards per carry, which isn't bad against a very good Browns offense. And the Colts came into this one saying, we're just going to run the hell out of the ball. They kind of did effectively, but Gardner Minshew, man, 3 fumbles lost out of his hands, plus another pick, an interception. So just was not a very good game for him. At times he looked good, but then it just abysmal down the stretch. The bright side for the Colts is Anthony Richardson, when he does eventually come back next year. He definitely is not going to turn the ball over as many times as Gardner Minshew. And when you have a rushing attack like they showed in this game with Taylor and Zach Moss, what can Richardson do with a stronger arm than Minshew, with a better at running the ball than Minshew? Bright side for the Colts. Hindsight's 2020 because they have a bright future when Anthony Richardson eventually does decide to come back. Last game that I am going to cover, Bills versus Patriots. Again, I apologize, guys. It was a slow start at the beginning. I was trying to gather all my thoughts because I was watching that Niners-Vikings game, and I was like, wow, this is quite crazy. So, and then after watching that game, I was like, oh, wow, I have to prepare for this whole recap thing. So, excuse me, guys, but let's get to the Bills versus Patriots. This game honestly came down to which QB was more efficient. And that QB was, very surprisingly, Mac Jones over Josh Allen. We're kind of starting to see a trend where Josh Allen's turning the ball over, guys. And I'm not saying he's a good quarterback, but he's so inconsistent. But the Bills are the same old Bills team that they were last year. They haven't changed anything. Last year, the Bills were a team that relied solely on Josh Allen's arm. This year, they're the same thing. They still don't really have a run game, and they don't commit to the run. And their offensive line is terrible. And so that's really the thing that is the downfall for the Bills. But anyways, Allen hasn't played good, but my point I'm trying to make is the Bills' offensive scheme is not helping him play good because they're just not helping him with the run game. And the quarterback's best friend is a running back. So I'm just going to say it. But nevertheless, Allen in this game early on had an interception, which was overthrown, just a bad throw intercepted by the Patriots. And again, their offense in this game was very, very inconsistent. They couldn't run the ball, like I said before. But I will say that the Patriots did a really nice job of dialing up and just getting pressure on Josh Allen. Josh Allen, again, 27 completions, 265 yards, a 9.8 yard average between each throw. That's not very much, especially for somebody like Josh Allen, 9.8 yards per completion. My opinion, the Patriots, what I saw, they said, we're going to pressure you. We're going to play pretty heavy zone, and we're just going to let you dink and dunk all game, giving up no big plays. And the Bills aren't built that way. The Bills are built in a way that they have to get big plays. Their offense isn't built in a way they can't just dink and dunk the whole game. They have to get big plays running with Josh Allen. And so the Patriots played it perfectly. They didn't give up any big plays. They got pressure on Josh Allen. They made him be a dink and dunk quarterback, and it eventually fell through. Their offense, the Bills' offense, wasn't very. I mean, it was kind of functional, but not the whole day. Defensively, I'm gonna say this: the Patriots had a really good game plan, and that was just to get the ball out fast. The Patriots got the ball out fast 2.1 seconds per throw that Mac Jones dropped back. So just it was click, click, click. And then the reason why the Bills were allowing that to me is the Matt Milano injury. It's really coming back to bite them. The Matt Milano injury. That to me, the Patriots, Matt Milano is just an absolute beast of a linebacker. And the Bills didn't have him and won't have him for the rest of the year. The Patriots were just tearing up the middle of the field for the Bills on the Bills defense. So that's really what I got from that game. That's the end of recap part 1. That's a little bit of a long episode in my opinion, but I'll see you guys tomorrow night probably. I'll post another part 2. In part 2, we'll be covering Sunday and Monday night game, and then we'll also be covering kind of the updates in the divisions. There's a big shakeup this week in the AFC North and just a few other divisions that I wanted to cover as well. It'll also probably be a shorter episode, less than 20 minutes, whatever it was. So have a good rest of your night, everyone. I'll be posting clips of this video later on in the week. See you guys later.